Hello from Minot and welcome in to another episode of Central Intelligence as we take a look at what goes on in the NAHL Central Division. I'm your host for the week, Ken Oda, and let's jump right in. It was a busy week that kicked off on Thursday night. On Thursday night, the Austin Bruins visited the Minnesota Magicians of the Midwest Division and fell 3-2 in a shootout. Hudson Hodges had 31 saves in the loss for Austin. Michael Reed got the Aberdeen offense going with 2 goals in the second period to push the Wings to a 7-2 victory over the Minotauros. Keenan Ranciere made 46 saves in the loss. Jack Suki had 2 goals and Ryan O'Neill had 2 assists as the Norsemen picked up a 4-2 win over the Minnesota Wilderness. Then on Friday night, the Bruins avenged their loss from the night before, getting a 5-1 victory over the Minnesota Magicians. Garrett Dahm had 2 goals, Peter Jacobs a goal, and an assist for the Bruins. The Wings scored a touchdown for the second night in a row with a 7-1 victory over the Bismarck Bobcats. Jake Goldowski's hat trick and assist led the way. Jordan Randall and Will Arquette each pitched in a goal and 2 helpers for the Wings. Ryan O'Neill picked up 2 goals as the Norsemen took another victory over the Wilderness, this time by a 5-2 margin. On Saturday night, it was the Wilderness' turn to face the Magicians. They fell 4-3 in a shootout. Nicole Sartor had 2 goals, Josh Wolin and Will Traeger 2 assists each, but that was not enough for the Wilderness in the loss. The St. Cloud Norsemen picked up a 6-3 win over the Austin Bruins. Ryan O'Neill had a goal and an assist, same for Nick Young. 4 other Norsemen had 2 assists in the victory. Jake Seibel got his 11th shutout of the year with 22 stops in a 2-0 win for the Aberdeen Wings over the Bismarck Bobcats. With 3 goals and 3 assists for 6 points in 3 games, all wins for the St. Cloud Norsemen, Ryan O'Neill earned Central Division Star of the Week honors. Now that we've taken a look at the week that was, let's take a look at what those games meant for the standings. The Aberdeen Wings remain the only team to have clinched a playoff spot in the Central Division. Their 91 points not only clinches a playoff spot, but a division title and the best record in the North American Hockey League this season. The Bismarck Bobcats sit in second with 57 points. They will clinch their playoff spot by earning 1 point or a St. Cloud loss this weekend. The Minotauros sit in third with 50 points. Their magic number's down to 4, meaning a sweep of all 3 games they play this weekend, including Thursday in St. Cloud, would punch the Toros playoff ticket. The Minnesota Wilderness sit in 4th place with 42 points, trying to stay ahead of St. Cloud and Austin, who are in 5th and 6th with 41 points each. Let's keep things moving here on Central Intelligence and kick it out to our correspondents. Let's start with Jay Kleinknecht, down with the first place, Aberdeen Wings.
And now for the Aberdeen Wings portion of Central Intelligence. I have a player joining me, Cullen Ferguson, defenseman extraordinaire from Binbrook, Ontario, Canada. Thanks for coming on Central Intelligence with us here today.
Thank you so much for having me.
You bet. Well, I always ask guys, about how they got started playing hockey and so on. Being from Canada, it's probably not much of a stretch of the imagination that, that you'd want to play. But tell me a little bit about how the first time you started skating and realized that you wanted to play hockey. And then tell me about how you became an Aberdeen Wing. How did that all transpire?
Yeah, no, I mean, definitely coming from Canada, it's the main sport there. Everybody grows up loving it. But my parents put me in the learn to skate. I was in the play of The Wizard of Oz, and I was just a poppy going out skating around circles. And then by the end of the play, I came off, and all the hockey players were going on, and I'm like, I want to do that. Like, that looks way more fun. And I'm like 3 years old at this time, and I'm like, and my dad was ecstatic. He's like, yep, let's get him into hockey. That's what I like to hear. And then, I just never looked back. I fell in love with the game. My dad preached to me every single day. He was a big part in my hockey career and pushed me to getting to the next level. So
which led you to the BCHL.
Yeah.
After, of course, as you went through with different teams and so on in juniors, you end up at the BCHL. And COVID does some weird things with schedules and so on, and it looks like they're going to shut things down about midway through the season, huh?
Yeah, no, definitely. Things weren't looking good in the BCHL when I was playing there this year. We only got 8 games in, and around Christmas time, I think it was almost certain that we weren't going to be playing. So I texted my buddy Will Arquette, who played on this team. He also played with me in Couch in the year before, and I said, do you guys need defense? I'm trying to play, and BCHL's not starting up, and I want to get down there. I see you guys are a great team, great organization, so I want to do my best to get down there. And he texted his coach, talked to Langer, and he said, we're interested. We come on down. We need a defenseman. So it was coming right down to the wire, too, because the cutoff for Canadians was 2 days 2 days before, or 2 days after, he said, we want you. So I had to get all the paperwork done, everything. And when we just met the cutoff day, I think everything was finally done the day of. So
close call. Wow.
Yeah.
All right. The Wings, of course, with the win Saturday night, end up winning the President's Trophy, and with the best win percentage, I guess this year is what we're going with because of different teams having different amount of games in. But first time in franchise history that the Wings have accomplished that. What does that mean to you as a team, as a player, and as a team at this locker room? You got to feel pretty proud to be able to say that you have the best record of 2020 and 2021, and come away with that title.
Yeah, no, I mean, it definitely feels great, and I absolutely love it. I think all the boys are really proud, but at the end of the day, if you don't win the last game of the season, then I don't really think it means too much. I think we all want to walk away with a championship and a ring on our finger, and I came here to win. I've been on a lot of good teams before, but I've never won a championship. So that was a big reason as to why I wanted to come here to Aberdeen. And I think we have a really good shot, and winning the league is a good start, but it's not our ultimate goal.
Eyes on the prize. All right. Away from hockey, I got a quick question here for you. If you could grab somebody out of anywhere in history, or maybe they're alive now, whatever, it doesn't much matter, but somebody that, whether they be an athlete or maybe a past president, whatever, it could be anybody. Who do you choose to sit down and pick their brain and have dinner with and ask them questions and kind of, get some guidance from or whatever? Is there somebody that stands out in your mind?
Yeah, no, that's actually a great question, and I would say Michael Jordan for sure. I think his competitive edge puts him on a completely different level. He's one of a kind. When you think of the greatest athletes of all time, he's always in the topic. I personally think he's the greatest of all time. I watched his documentary on The Last Dance, and he is just a different duck. He always wants to be better. He wants to go above and beyond. And I would really love to pick his brain on that and see why he acts like that, why he has that in his everyday life. So.
Yeah, interesting. I mentioned earlier that I've heard about some of the bets, how competitive he can be, because he does not like to lose. Yeah. Back to hockey, upcoming this weekend, St. Cloud Norsemen in Alexandria. So there's that, but St. Cloud is fighting for their playoff lives, and things are getting really tight at between the Wilderness and the Bruins and Norsemen. What have you got to do this weekend as a team to come away with some wins here from Minnesota?
Yeah, well, St. Cloud's a really good team, and I think they're going to play good structure. I think we can't take them lightly. They're like you said, they got a lot on the line here. So, and as the number one team, you gotta expect everyone's best game. So we need to get to them early. I think letting teams hang around is something we don't want to do. We want to get on them right away. We want to pepper their goalies. We want to work the cycle. We want to play in their zone. So that's I think that's going to be the biggest focus, is getting pucks in their zone and staying there. Absolutely.
Okay. Again, heading over to Alexandria, Minnesota this weekend against the St. Cloud Norsemen. And like I said, I've been watching those standings pretty closely. It's been quite a battle down there. It's going to be interesting to see who will take that final playoff spot here this year. Once again, Cullen, I appreciate you coming on the show. Cullen Ferguson, ladies and gentlemen. And again, thanks for joining us on Central Intelligence.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
All right, folks, that'll wrap up the Aberdeen Wings portion of Central Intelligence. Back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Jay. Great stuff, as always, from the Aberdeen Wings. We'll keep on moving from South Dakota. We'll head all the way to the northeast corner of the division and Carrie Sandal with the Minnesota Wilderness.
Thanks, Ken. I'm here with Wilderness Assistant Captain Jake Herder. Jake, thank you so much for being with us today. Being the assistant captain, what do you see your role both on and off the ice being?
Well, as a leader on the team, you just got to make sure everybody's on the same page. And, being one of the older guys and being a leader, you really got to lead by example and show everybody kind of what kind of work ethic it takes to play. And off the ice, it's really just kind of making sure everybody's together and trying to keep everybody, gelling as a group. And you don't want to have any cliques forming on the team. You kind of want to be more of a family and a group of guys that all really love each other. And it's important as leaders to make sure that happens, because everybody plays better hockey when they're having fun. And, you really want to have a good relationship between the players and the coaches as well. You got to tell the players kind of what the coaches are feeling, and you got to tell the coaches kind of how the players feel too. So everybody's kind of on the same page so you can move forward as a hockey team.
Yeah, keeping that communication open and having fun, but knowing what everybody's role is, everybody's job on the team, and being a veteran, you are going to play your 135th game with the Minnesota Wilderness on Wednesday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. What 135 games. So obviously you are, the wise man on the team, been around for a while. What kind of advice do you give the younger guys coming in, especially those players that are just finishing high school seasons and finishing up with you guys here with Wilderness?
I mean, being an older guy on the team is definitely fun, but whenever I see a young guy come on the team, I just want him to know, like, when you come into junior hockey, it's obviously it's a higher level. It's, a lot more difficult, but don't be afraid to make any mistakes. It happens to everybody, even me. After 135 games, I'm still making tons of mistakes, but you can't get down on yourself when you make them. You got to keep going. And even when the coach maybe yells at you or something, you should have done something different. Like, you just got to keep with what you're doing and how you're playing, and don't get down on yourself, and make sure you always try to stay positive. I think that's one of the biggest things today is you see younger guys make mistakes and they get down on themselves, and it only hurts them even more. And so that's like one thing that I know has really helped me, is just to always try to stay positive on the bench, even when you're not playing your best hockey.
Yeah, I love it. Positive attitude, keep moving forward, right? So 135 games, that's a lot of bus rides. What is your bus trick? How do you handle those bus rides? What are your secrets?
One of my veteran moves that I do is I actually bring a dog bed on the bus, and I set it down on the floor under the seat, and it's like a nice Serta mattress dog bed. So I sleep like an absolute baby on the bus. And it's a little trick, but it definitely makes sleeping on the 8-hour bus rides a little bit nicer. And you got to have some good movies to go along for the ride as well. But
absolutely, Serta mattress dog bed. No, we were not sponsored by Serta mattress dog beds, just to let everyone know.
Maybe we should be. But.
We should be, yeah. Good tip. I love it. Hey, Jake, thanks so much for joining us here, and good luck this week with your games.
Oh, thank you, Carrie.
Yeah, back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Carrie. We're going to bring things back to North Dakota, head down Highway 83, hear from Andrew Weiss, the fine play-by-play voice of the Bismarck Bobcats.
Thanks, Ken. I'm here with Bobcats forward Lars Rodna. Lars, a goal for you this past weekend against the Aberdeen Wings, and a big weekend coming up against the Minnesota Wilderness. Obviously, getting that goal was a very big moment for you. It had been a little bit of time for you between some injuries and some things going on that you were able to get back in the goal-scoring column. How good did it feel to get that off your back a bit?
Felt really good. It's as you said, it's been a while since I scored, so it was good to get that monkey off the back, and hopefully I can keep going there.
Big weekend coming up against the Minnesota Wilderness. Bobcats 1 point away from clinching a playoff spot in the Central Division. How important is it for you guys to get off to a good start Friday night and keep that going all the way through the weekend?
Oh, it's going to be huge. It's big two games coming up here against the Wilderness. They've been battling hard against St. Cloud lately, so they will be for sure ready to go. So we got to match that intensity, and hopefully we get out with 4 points this weekend.
Now, it's going to be a good battle here over the next few weeks between you and Minot for second place in the Central Division. Bobcats right now with 3 straight losses, but playing with a little bit of fire, a little bit of gumption to them. How do you expect them to perform this week against the Wilderness and try to keep pace in the Central Division ahead of Minot?
Well, we got to be ready to go, and as you said, Minot's been struggling a little bit lately, but they swept us last time we played them, so we got to be ready to go whenever we play them, and as you said, big weekend coming up, and hopefully we can get out with 4 points. That's all we need. So yeah, we just got to make sure we're ready to go.
Now the Bobcats are looking for some big goal scorers this week against the Wilderness and in general over the next few weeks. I know that you're a big part of that. You like to put the puck in the back of the net. How have you been able to see the puck in the last few weeks, and what have you kind of expected from yourself in the last few games or so?
Well, I think everyone just need to get the pucks to the net and get those second and third chances. I think we should be good. Just get some eyes in front of that goalie, and it'll be hard to stop them. So just got to make sure we get pucks to the net, and those bodies in front, and we'll be good. We got enough good players to score goals here, so we should be fine this weekend.
Lars, appreciate your time here on the Central Intelligence, and best of luck this weekend against the Wilderness.
Yeah, thanks, YC. Appreciate it.
Back to you and Minot, Ken.
Thank you, Andrew. We'll keep things here in North Dakota. I had a chance to meet with one of the unsung heroes of the North American Hockey League, the Zamboni Drivers. I spent some time talking to our own Larry McFall. Here with Director of Ice Operations of the Mesa Arena, Larry McFall. Larry, I say it all the time, you guys are the unsung heroes of any hockey league, but especially the North American Hockey League. How do you end up being a Zamboni guy for one of these rinks?
Well, I've been in it for a little bit. Started off in 1975 at the All Seasons Arena in Minot when I was a junior in high school, and I worked until '82, and then got into sales for a long time. And then I decided I just wanted to come back. So to answer your question, anybody can come and get a job at Arena, and then from there you just have to learn the trade depending on what you want to do at the rink. And for me, it was always to be the ice ops guy and one of the lead Zamboni or Olympia resurfacer drivers, and that's kind of what I always wanted to do, and that's what I ended up coming back to.
But there's a lot more to it than just coming out here and doing some laps during intermission, right? Like you guys, I know you and your son Brandon, who also works on the ice here, you guys go off to classes and school for all this stuff, right?
Yeah, we joined the United States Rink Association. We thought that was a real good move for us, and what they do, and through the NHL and USA Hockey, they actually certify you as a certified ice technician. That's your first certification you get. To get that, you have to learn how to use the machines and the machinery that it takes to take care of the ice. You also have to get a basic knowledge of the refrigeration system. And once you have those two things down, then you have to learn how to put the ice in and how to paint the ice. We had a guy start here today part-time, and he didn't know that we painted the ice white. There's so many things that people don't know. So you go to these classes and they teach you the best way to do something. Back in the day, in the 70s, it was get out the fire hose and just flood the rink until you filled it up. Kind of like what they do on an outdoor rink nowadays.
Sure.
But the indoor rinks and to get good quality ice have found out that you must mist the water up in real small increments at a time. And so that's what we do. When we originally put the ice in, we'll start misting. We have a special wand and hose that mists water onto the ice, and we slowly build it up, and then you get it to the height that you want it, and then you put your paint down and you put your lines down, and then you just keep on going until you get a sheet of ice. For us here, it's 1.25 inches. Thickness is what we use.
I know you guys take a lot of pride in our sheet of ice here, and it's beautiful. You've got 3 sheets actually to take care of here at the Mesa Arena. How much effort goes into a game night for you guys?
Well, usually if you keep your ice nice, if you can keep it pretty level, and we have level ice systems on our machines that basically take care of the angle of the cutting blade for us to try to keep it at a certain depth. If your ice is in fairly good shape when you're rolling into like a Toro game next Thursday night, then what we do is we just make sure that we edge and cut the corners down so there's no marbles on the board, so you get a good puck ring around the boards. And then from there we go out and give it a real good dry cut. And that's what I just did here behind us. This isn't the finished product here. We dry cut about 1/16 of an inch off the ice. That takes all the cracks, or most of the cracks and the skate marks off. And then once you get done with that, we come out with a real nice 160-degree hot water flood with the ZAM. And that makes the warm-up ice for your warm-ups. And then throughout the night, there's not much you can do except just resurface. But then when you guys are done and you've got your stuff packed up and you guys get to go home, I have to cut and work on it some more and cut the grooves out again after the game and get it flooded for the next day. So, and you'll learn all that through US Rink Association. They're a very helpful organization.
Now, one of the perks of the gig, of course, is that you're down here standing right on the glass for all 30-plus home games this season. What are some of your favorite memories? In fact, you're probably the only guy who's been around for all 10 years.
Yeah, I've got a lot of great memories. The Eck rink was good because it was, and you got 1 year in there. No, you got 4 years.
4 years in there,
yeah. Just the intimacy of how close everybody was, and the noise seems to be louder in there. So any game in there was just crazy. And the first couple of years when I was hired to be the Saturday night special, just walking around in the crowd and passing stuff out and getting people to say a few short words during intermission and stuff. I mean, that was a really good memory for me, was to be the PA announcer for those first 2 seasons. Now, since sitting down here, yeah, we're sitting and watching the game, but I also need to add the reason we're doing that is, do we need to scrape any blood up? Did the ice get cut all the way down to the concrete where we have to come out and patch it? Does the referee need a squeegee? He thinks it might be too wet. We just had a glass break today. We just got done putting another sheet of glass in. You guys broke that this morning. The bill should be in your mailbox by tomorrow morning.
That'll be Ike Keller's problem.
Is he the one that broke it?
He's the one who
Ike,
broke
I'm
it,
coming for you. I didn't know who broke it until just now. So we just don't sit and watch the game, but it is a big perk watching and the cup in 18. I mean, that was pretty awesome to be able to go into the, it still kind of tears me up a little bit, to go to the locker room and be able to hold on to that trophy after the game. That was priceless.
So for fans who don't know, you've got a long history working in sports as well. What do teams like the Toros or the Bobcats down in Bismarck, the Austin Bruins, all these teams mean to these markets?
Oh, Toros hockey is huge. So it just does so much for the town. Everybody talks Toros. I go to the Culver's drive up, and the lady that gives me her food sees my hat, and I guess she knows me, you know. That's the thing. So many people know you, and you don't ever get a chance to talk to them. Hey, the game's next weekend. I can't wait, you know, and she's all pumped up, and you see the signs on Broadway. Toros fever has really caught on really well in 10 years. Just the Toros being in town and bringing the people to the rink and getting them out to do something, family fun, you know, but everybody has fun. It's just been a great, great thing for Minot.
Well, thanks, Larry, for everything you do on the ice and everything you do around here at the arena, and all the rink guys who give us 6 great sheets of ice to play on all season long. So
appreciate it. Couldn't do it without our crew. We've got a great bunch of guys working here. Of course, we're all under the leadership of Bob Gillen. And I want to thank all the guys we have on our staff. They do just a heck of a job getting us through the season.
All right. Thanks, Larry.
Thanks, Ken.
Thank you, as always, to Larry McFall for taking a moment to talk to us, and a big thank you to all of the ice crews and arena staffs around the North American Hockey League. I called you guys the unsung heroes. You do have a song about driving a Zamboni, but still, you guys don't get the credit you deserve. Let's head on down the road again to St. Cloud and Mark Shelley, the play-by-play voice of the St. Cloud Norsemen.
Thanks a lot, Ken. I'm here with forward Jack Suki of the St. Cloud Norsemen, who right now is on an absolute tear, has 12 points in his last 7 games. And right now, not just you and your line mates are clicking, but your entire team is firing on all cylinders, having won 7 of their last 10 in what is really the right time to be doing that as you guys are trying to push for the playoffs. What, as a whole, for this team has gone right that you say, this is why we're coming together and winning these games when we need to?
I think it's just like a confidence thing in the dressing room. You know, guys are making plays, doing the right thing, and Millen put his trust in us, and we're just winning games, going out there and having fun. And for my line, I think there's guys making plays, having fun, and the same thing with the whole team. It's not just my line. We're obviously showing up on the score sheet, but there's other lines that are doing a lot of good things too. So.
One of the lines that is doing good things, as you mentioned, is yours, but your line also gets some extra help because you guys are that top unit on the power play, which has been red hot as of late. We see multiple goals going in per game on the man advantage unit. What's been the key to the success in going up a skater and being able to capitalize?
I think just being comfortable to make plays. I think we kind of had a little dry spell there throughout the middle and beginning of the year, and then I think we're just making plays and having fun, and we're kind of have that confidence to make plays and be able to score goals. And right now the puck's flying in the back of the net, so it's pretty fun.
Well, you guys had that long series, those 4 games with the Minnesota Wilderness, who you trail coming into this weekend in the Central Division standings for that 4th and final playoff spot. You have the 4 games there, and you have a couple of games here with Minot, Aberdeen, a game with the Magicians, but then you realize it's right down the stretch, and you guys are going to do the exact same thing that you did with the Wilderness, but with the Austin Bruins, who right now you come into this weekend tied with in the Central Division standings. What's that like, knowing that these are 2 pretty close together, back-to-back mini-series that feel like playoffs?
Yeah, I think it helps us, kind of get ready for a game. And, obviously last year we were out of playoffs pretty early. So, it's good right now to go into a series like that and know that there's so much at stake, and it helps us play a lot better. I think that's the reason we have been playing a lot better, because we're kind of playing with our backs against the wall. So, no, it'll be exciting. I think, Austin's just as good of a team as the Wilderness, if not better. And, we got to beat them to get into the playoffs. So it'll be pretty fun.
this past weekend, actually, you guys did something that you really haven't done this season. You've won 3 games before, but winning 3 games, completing the whole weekend, picking up a sweep. How much of a confidence boost was that for you guys, and what were the emotions like following that big win in Austin?
I think it's good. I think it helps us, going forward now that we know that we can do that and closing out series because, the one against the Wilderness that we kind of had that 3-1 lead going in the third and we kind of lost it. So now, I think we're kind of just playing, we're having fun, and we have that confidence that we know we can go in and win 3 in a weekend and, just keep things moving forward. And, yeah, we're just having fun.
And on a bit of a personal note here, Jack, you're a veteran on this team that's been here, and you guys went through that tough season last year, but then with the rebrand and coming back, now doubling the wins from last year coming into this weekend, how great does that feel to see where the team was and how far you've progressed and be able to come together with this team and set your sights on making the postseason?
Yeah, it's a long time coming, you think back in when we started 0-5, you never thought we'd be here, but it's good. A lot of guys are playing some of their best hockey right now, so it's just fun to be in that position. That's why you come to the rink every day, is kind of be in that position to make the playoffs and play for something more than just it's just a game. Just kind of play for like a playoff spot and have something to play for.
Well, thanks a lot, Jack, for joining us here. Best of luck this weekend and down the stretch here as you guys push for the playoffs, and we're going to send it back to you, Ken.
Thank you, Mark. And last but certainly not least, we'll keep it in Minnesota and head down to Austin with TJ Shalott and the Austin Bruins.
Thanks, Ken. My name is TJ Shalott, voice of the Austin Bruins. I'm here with Bruins forward Barrett Brooks. And Barrett, let's go ahead. We're going to start with you and the success that you've been having this season. Last year at the end of the year, albeit a shortened year, you finished out the season with 19 points. Here you are already with 30. You're well above the pace that you set for yourself last year, and you're currently leading this team in points. What's been kind of the secret to your success so far this season out there on the ice?
Well, I think compared to last year, I just came in here. I was obviously a vet, and I was put in those situations that allowed me to, get those points that I did this year. Being on the PK, being on the power play, being a guy who Coach Howard depends on. I think that helped me a lot this year.
When you talk about special teams, I know that's something that a lot of players really covet. They want to be on the special teams units. Are you one of those guys that really feeds off the opportunity to be out there on the power play and PK?
Yeah, for sure. When we do special teams every Thursday, I love it. I love being out there practicing that stuff. Because that's where points are made and that's where goals are scored, and I love to score goals. So, yeah, I love it.
I was going to ask you why you liked it so much, but you went ahead and answered it right there for me, because I was wondering maybe you just like the adrenaline that you get from a power play or something, but I'm sure you get adrenaline from goals being scored too. And that's something you've been doing a lot over you look at the last 9 games, you have 9 points, 3 goals and 6 assists in your last 9 games. Is there anything in particular in this most recent stretch of games that's kind of just been bouncing your way that's allowed you to continue with that kind of success?
Well, ever since Sutter Mazzati came back and he joined me and Carson, I think we've been connecting pretty well. Yeah, I got to thank Sutter and Carson for sure.
When you talk about a shuffle like that, I mean, that was you guys were a line that was clicking pretty good up until Sutter injured his upper body and then came back, and all of a sudden you're clicking again. Is that a big thing? Like, is that tough to adjust when you're finding chemistry with 2 other guys and then one of them goes down for a significant period of time? Is it something tough to adjust to?
Yeah, for sure it is, especially when you're clicking so much and, you get those points. It's definitely hard, but there's always someone who's ready to go and step up in a lineup. So
we're down to the nitty gritty here in the season, just a handful of games left to go. What's kind of the vibe like in the locker room? Like you said, you're a vet, you're a guy that a lot of the youngsters are going to look up to, to set the tone, to set the emotion level in the locker room. What's that like? What is it like being in the Bruins locker room just outside of a playoff spot and fighting for that final position?
It's definitely exciting. A lot of these guys, last year I wasn't able to experience that playoff atmosphere, but, just from being in like the national tournament and stuff like that, playoffs is, and all the younger kids know it. Playoffs are awesome. They're, the energy is ecstatic, especially in the building. So I think we're all excited, and, I think we're all towards the end of the year, I think we're all becoming closer as a team. And I think now, especially, each and every one of us wanted even more. And, we got to win every game. So, yeah, we're excited, and we also go day by day, and needing to get better, and we're excited to get at it during the end of the season here. So.
Last year, things were a little bit different for the Bruins. In third place when the coronavirus kind of halted the year. This year, right now, still outside the playoff picture, trying to work in. Is the sense of urgency a lot different in the locker room this year compared to where the team was at last year? I mean, obviously, where the team was last year, there's still the chance that maybe if they go on a losing skid, the Bruins get bounced out of the playoff picture and somebody overtakes them, because it's always tight in the Central Division. But is there a different sense of urgency in the locker room this year, not having that playoff spot, at least not sitting in that playoff spot right now, as opposed to last year when they were?
I mean, like I said before during our conversation, I think the league's gotten a lot better. And I think every game is going to be a close game. And, last year, I think towards the end of the year, it was tough because we were actually rolling and we won a lot of games, and that put us in the third place. I think this year, just the league being so tough, every game is really important. And, it obviously it was hard for us this year. We lost a few games in a row, and we tried to battle back, and now we're just worried about every game and winning from here on out.
Still in a playoff position, or at least in striking distance, and that's all you can really ask for at this point. And two big games coming up this weekend against the Minotauros. This is a team that the Bruins struggled with in the first handful of matches, and then finally got over the hump, got their first victory over the Minotauros 2 weekends ago in Minot on that Saturday night. What are you guys thinking this weekend going into Minot? When you look at that game, what are your thoughts? What are your emotions going into that game?
Be disciplined. I think their power play is very, very good. And I think also to the end of the year, we got St. Cloud for 5 games, and their power play is also really well. So I think it's going to come down to special teams. I think our team can play both those teams 5-on-5 very well. So I think special teams are going to be huge.
So when you talk about how much you love special teams, this really couldn't be any better for you, because that's, like you said, that's what's going to determine who makes the playoffs and who doesn't as we go forward here. And it kind of puts all the attention on special teams, and that seems to be the area where you love to be and where you love to excel. So how much does that mean to you that, man, you really get to sink your teeth into some opportunities coming up here?
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah, for sure.
Do you prefer being on the power play or the penalty kill?
Power play, for sure.
Okay. I knew some guys that like to be on the PK a little bit because they like that they like the us against the world mentality. You're down one guy and it's 6-on-5 out there, and sometimes it's a little bit different. Have you given any thought to the postseason and maybe what future plans might be for you?
Not really. I think just worry about the next 6 games and getting that playoff spot, and then from there, we'll see what happens.
You're one of the vets. I got one more question for you. If I'm a younger guy on the Austin Bruins, I'm a rookie, I'm a guy like Jens Richards or Ben Oakland or one of these guys, what are you telling me to keep my head on straight and to keep my head level so that I could be the best hockey player that I can be going into these final games?
I think it's just having that confidence. Those guys have gone the whole year. They've gotten a lot more confident within the league. I think it's just, tell them to stay confident, stay level-headed, and no matter what happens, if we say we don't make a playoff spot, be ready to go next year, be one of those leaders like we are, and next year be level-headed and make sure this team makes it to the playoffs. I mean, no matter what, those guys are leaders on our team. It doesn't matter if you're a rookie or not. I think a rookie like Jens Richards or Ben Oakland can be a leader on our team, just by coming to the rink every day and having a positive attitude and just doing the little stuff that makes this organization the way it is. So
it's all about learning. It's all about growing. Something that we've had the benefit and the privilege of watching you do over the last 2 years, learning and growing out there on the ice. And we can see it in your stats, and we can, of course, see it. Anybody who watches any of the Austin Bruins games can see it out there. So, Barrett, thanks so much. Good luck down the stretch. We look forward to talking to you, hopefully, during the playoffs.
Yeah, for sure. Thanks a lot.
That was Bruins forward Barrett Brooks. We're going to go ahead and send it back to Ken.
Great work as always, TJ. I look forward to seeing you and Mark this weekend as the Toros hop on the bus and hit the road. It's another busy weekend in the North American Hockey League Central Division. Let's take a look at the matchups kicking off tonight with the Minnesota Wilderness. The action gets going early this week in the Central Division as the Minnesota Wilderness head down to Richfield to take on the Minnesota Magicians of the Midwest Division. The Wilderness are 1-0-1 against the Magicians so far this year. Grant Doctor has a goal and 3 assists to lead the way for the Wilderness against the Magicians. Then tomorrow night, the Minotauros head down to St. Cloud, where they'll take on the Norsemen. The Norsemen are 6-5-0 against the Toros this season for a slight edge in the season series. Tyler Kostelecki's 2 goals and 6 assists have led the way for the Toros against St. Cloud, while Brett Chorsky has 2 goals and 10 helpers on the year against the men from Minot. Minot stays busy on the weekend, then heading down to the Austin Bruins to take them on in the Spam Can. The Toros lead the season series 5-1-0 on the year. Cade Stibbe has 4 goals and 2 assists in those 6 games. Carson Riddle, 4 goals for the Bruins. Former Toro Kyle Oleksiak, 3 goals and an assist against his former club in that season series as well. Then also on Friday and Saturday night, the Aberdeen Wings will take on the St. Cloud Norsemen in games that will take place in Alexandria, Minnesota. The Wings lead the season series 9-1-0 on the year against the Norseman Clayton Constantino. A big part of that with 2 goals and 11 assists. Spencer Snyder, 7 tucks against the Norsemen. Brett Chorsky and Jack Suki have 2 goals and an assist each in the season series for St. Cloud against the first place Wings. Wrapping up the matchups on the weekend, also on Friday and Saturday night in the capital of North Dakota, it is the Minnesota Wilderness facing the Bismarck Bobcats. The Bobcats lead the season series with a 3-1-0 record. Dante Lawson has 2 goals and an assist against the Bobcats to lead the way for the Wilderness, while Tim Piowski's 3 goals and 1 helper have paced the Bobcats. So there you have it, hockey fans. A busy week in the Central Division and a big week, as it seems like we always say. But with just 8 or fewer games remaining on the schedule for every team in the division, and only one team, the Aberdeen Wings, having clinched a playoff spot and no one being eliminated, every game in the race for the Robbie here down the stretch will matter. So get out to your local rink, support your favorite Central Division team, and then check in next week with Central Intelligence to see where the race for the Robbie stands. As we leave you this week, we thank you for watching. We'll leave you with Plays of the Week.
Shouty over to Rojo, walks up, shot, he scores! Max Rojo with a laser over the shoulder, and the Bruins get one here in the first.
And Karam's all the way down to the Toro zone where Constantino picks up. Tries to go short side, and that one hangs in off Rancier.
Over to Traeger, down low, Bolin. Sutter the shot, and he scores! The Wilderness tie the game, a power play goal from Michael Sarter.
Meanwhile, it's in front, Bogdanovich, it's in! Boggs, big tuna, gets the Toros ahead 2-0. A fantastic feed out front from Stibbe.
Here's Cade Nielsen. Over the blue line, plays it now for Manti. Manti into the slot, he has our quick. Plays it back door, and what a goal there! Wings score, it's Goldowski's second of the night.
Behind the net, flip to the near side for Doctor. And he scores! Grant Doctor from the toughest angle possible along the extended goal line, and that's an historic goal for Grant Doctor, folks. That breaks the Wilderness single-season record for goals by a defenseman. Grant Doctor's 13th goal of the season.
And the Bobcats have killed the penalty. Bismarck is full strength. 7-0 by Idaho, just out there. Come off the power play. The Wings get on the board once again. 7:04 left in the second, and it's now 2-0.
Brought into the zone, Simmons Fisher leads out in front, tip, they score! What a give and go! Alex Trombley, Simmons Fisher back to Trombley, and the Bruins are up 4-0.
Towards the red line, dump in, hits a body, Karam's to Logan Anderson, looking in the middle for Brett Rollison, shot, it's in. And just like that, the Toros are on the board first.